Have you ever wondered how the nuances of communication can either build or burn bridges, or create connections or sabotage them? Effective communication is the cornerstone of meaningful connections, and understanding the pitfalls of poor communication is the first step toward fostering healthy relationships. When it comes to low-grade communication, keep in mind, this isn't really anybody's fault. Effective communication skills were never taught to us in the public school system. This is something that we have to learn on our own. Communication is one of the most important skills in life. We are going to improve this issue of poor communication one step at a time so that we can not only communicate more effectively with those who lack communication skills, but also communicate and persuade very important people in life. Everybody on this planet should improve their communication skills. The world is just a better place when people know how to communicate effectively with each other. Dale Carnegie mentions persuading people through appealing to their interests. This revolves around the idea that people are more receptive when their own needs and desires are acknowledged. Instead of focusing solely on your agenda, Carnegie suggests understanding and aligning with what matters to the other person. By appealing to their interests and needs, you create a positive and receptive atmosphere, laying the foundation for effective influence and relationship building. Robert Cialdini talks about the liking bias in his book Influence. People are more easily persuaded by those they like. Factors like similarity, compliments, and cooperation contribute to likability. There is a time where poor communicators can turn vampiric or toxic to your business or potential. The faster you disengage, the better. I have to be honest. The reason why I delved into this subject at length is because I myself communicated very poorly for a huge part of my life, and still do sometimes. I'm a work in progress. However, I do communicate with people much better than I did 5, 10, or especially 20 years ago. There was a point in my life where I would get into arguments and shouting matches, verbal jousting, if you will. I remember arguing with people at work, as if I was battle rapping, leaving the tensions high and having people look at me like I was crazy. Not only that, they probably were more conniving behind my back within the workplace politics as a result. Although I became pretty talented at being disrespectful, this was a bad habit that took more from me than I realized. When engaging with people in this ineffective manner, it led me absolutely nowhere but 10 steps back from where I wanted to be. I witness people I know do the same thing. It creates a huge mess of unnecessary drama, but the saddest part is all that wasted time and energy that could have been put towards building something. Make no mistake, relationships with others can be your biggest source of joy or your biggest source of misery. Also, good relationships with others are paramount when it comes to succeeding in all types of endeavors, from family to business. People often talk themselves out of all this potential to defend their fragile egos. It's an illusion we easily become trapped in. Do you want to be right or do you want to be effective? Oftentimes, people's need to be right or defend their position gets in the way of what they truly want. You can see how those who are skilled in effective communication are excellent leaders, sales professionals, and teachers. And those who are poor communicators will never last or make any kind of meaningful impact. With all that being said, you have to ask yourself a deeper question. How is my internal communication? How do I communicate with myself? What are the things I'm ruminating about? Your ability to connect with others greatly depends on how skilled you are in communicating with yourself. Get clear on the emotions that are attached to the thoughts you have on a daily basis. Quickly keep in check any thoughts that evoke emotions such as too much pride, arrogance, antagonism, blame, anger, coldness, or compulsion. But it's much more concerning when emotions sink lower into fear, worry, grief, apathy, depression, shame, or hatred. We want to work our way into emotions that rise up to contentment, courage, optimism, acceptance, intelligence, creativity, imagination, serenity, and unity. Recognizing who to avoid and when to disengage with poor communicators is crucial. The 10th law in Robert Greene's book, The 48 Laws of Power, is about avoiding the unhappy and unlucky. The essence of this law is to stay away from individuals who are consistently negative or plagued by misfortune. Associating with those who bring down the mood or seem to attract trouble can have a detrimental effect on your own well-being and success. By distancing yourself from the perpetually unhappy or unlucky, You maintain a more positive environment and protect your own opportunities for growth and prosperity. Keep in mind, associating yourself with people who are terrible communicators may rub off on you. Prolonged exposure may normalize ineffective communication. The downward spiral gets to a point where that's just the way you communicate with them. It's pretty sad. The cliche, "you are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with," is all too fitting. Take it to heart, seriously. Warning signs to look out for. 1. They provoke emotional reactions through words. They know exactly how to push your buttons and love to do it. 2. Persistent unwanted calls and texts that create nothing but disruption. 3. Poor listening skills. They frequently interrupt, dismiss your opinions, or don't pay attention when you speak. 4. Lack of empathy. They don't consider or understand others' feelings, dismissing emotions as unimportant. 5. Gossiping. Engaging in gossip or spreading rumors about others. 6. Stonewalling. They shut down or refuse to communicate when faced with conflict, avoiding resolution. Now, when you can't disengage from behavior like this and find yourself back for more drama, it's usually because of the fear of boredom that results from avoiding drama-filled individuals. In this case, the bigger problem is that you don't have anything to aspire to. You don't know what to do with your time, so you're drawn back into the excitement of the drama as it unfolds. So, how to embrace avoiding toxic people? Read and educate yourself. Find something that interests you that you can be fully engaged in. Exercise for physical well-being. Excel in your goals or career. Consider relocating to a new city for a fresh start. Embrace personal growth and self-development. Now, you can turn their negativity into fuel for the actions speak louder mind frame if it helps you steer clear of going back to endlessly bicker. However, proceed with caution using that whole "I'll show them" approach. While this can provide a temporary boost, it lacks longevity and isn't a sustainable strategy because using the negativity as a fuel source only breeds more negativity. So be careful. You will have lasting well-being if your energy is internal, i.e., meaning not dependent on external validation. Remember, you want to be creating your future, but if you're glancing in the rearview mirror while working to better yourself, you're off course. The key is to stop playing their game and start winning at your own. It's surprisingly easy and incredibly rewarding when you focus on your path instead of getting entangled in theirs. You gotta have a strong why. Tips for dealing with poor communicators. Establish clear boundaries. Clearly communicate your expectations for respectful and constructive communication. If they exhibit toxic behavior, calmly reinforce your boundaries and be prepared to distance yourself. Develop a strong support network. Surround yourself with positive influences. Celebrate your victories no matter how small to boost your confidence. Learn the art of graceful exits from conversations or situations that drain your energy. I'm going to give you some examples of things to say. 1. I value respectful communication. If discussions become disrespectful, that's my boundary. I hope we can focus on constructive conversations that contribute to a positive relationship. Or if tensions are high, 2. Let's revisit this conversation when we both have a clearer understanding of our thoughts. 3. I value our communication and I think it would be helpful for both of us to gather our thoughts before continuing. 4. I hear your concerns and I want to make sure I give them the consideration they deserve. Can we revisit this discussion later? By acknowledging the other person's concerns and expressing that now is not the time, you're able to show empathy and boundaries simultaneously. Working together with people we disagree with. While exploring other paths, no matter how different or wrong they seem, remember, we're trying to understand their point of view, not necessarily agree with it or support it. As Stephen Covey wisely put it, you have to seek first to understand before being understood. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When you watch people who are skilled in dialogue, it becomes clear that they're not playing this everyday game of Trivial Pursuit. Trivial Pursuit is a board game where winning is determined by a player's ability to answer correctly. Skilled communicators are not looking for trivial differences and then proclaiming them aloud. In fact, they're looking for points of agreement. Coming to an understanding and agreement is the main goal, and that's done through growth and effective communication. If the other party's not willing or able to participate as such, then I would say run out of that burning building before it collapses. By protecting your energy, you set a good example and help make this world a better place, one person at a time. And that's why I made this video. Don't forget to like and share. Let me know your opinions in the comments section, and I'll see you again.